Recording in progress.
All right, we will call the meeting to order. The Board of County Road Commissioners of the County of Kalamazoo for our May 5th, 3 p.m. meeting. The first order of business is the public comment guidelines. Ms. Ryder, please.
This meeting is being provided under Act 267 of the Public Acts of 1976 as amended, or commonly referred to as the Open Meetings Act. During public comment, participants will have the opportunity to address the board at the beginning of the meeting and at the end of the meeting for non-agenda items. Public comments should be provided at the podium in order to ensure proper audio. Public comment statements or questions shall be limited to not more than 3 minutes for each person addressing the board. To provide public comment by Zoom, use the raise hand feature in the Zoom application. The host will ask you to unmute. For telephone audio, use star 9. Use star 6 to toggle back and forth between mute and unmute. As you participate in the meeting, your microphone will be placed on mute. The chat feature shall only be used to address any technical issues for public participation.
Thank you. If you please rise, if able, for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. The goal of the Board of County Road Commissioners of the County of Kalamazoo is using our expertise, energy, and funds to provide the safest and most convenient road system possible and to contribute to the economic development and high quality of life throughout the county. Our goal is to maintain a county road system that is safe and convenient for public travel and to manage the roadside environment with a view towards preservation. The first item on the agenda is approval of the agenda. A motion would be in order.
Support.
We have a motion by Commissioner Kennedy with support to approve the agenda as presented. Is there any discussion amongst the audience here in the building on the agenda? Or online? Or amongst commissioners? Hearing none, all in favor of approving the agenda say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. The motion carries. Next is the approval of the minutes of the April 21st board meeting. A motion would be in order.
Motion to approve. Support.
We have a motion by Commissioner Davis with support to approve the April 21st board meeting minutes as presented. Is there any additions, corrections, or deletions amongst the audience here in the building? Or online? I don't see anybody online today. Or commissioners, any corrections, additions, or deletions amongst commissioners about the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor of approving the April 21st board meeting minutes say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Motion carries. Next is the approval of the payroll and vendor accounts. We had a payroll of $204,968.96 and vendor accounts of totaling $1,279,538.62. A motion would be in order.
So moved, Thompson.
Is there support?
Support, please.
We have a motion by Commissioner Thompson with support to approve the payroll and vendor accounts as presented. Is there any discussion amongst the audience here in the building? or amongst commissioners? Hearing none, all in favor of approving the payroll and vendor accounts say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Motion carries. Next is public comment on non-agenda items. This is an opportunity for the public to speak to the Board of County Road Commissioners on items not on the agenda. You have 3 minutes. Please state your name and address and come forward to the podium. And we'll have it start a timer as soon as you start.
I'm Rhonda Walters. I live on 12480 South 18th Street in Vicksburg. I own property on U Avenue, and I don't know how many miles of U Avenue have almost every tree marked with a big yellow X. I'm not very happy about it. Well, so I would like to offer some alternatives. More signage at the S curves, rumble strips, flashing lights. A lot of people can't navigate the S curves because they're driving too fast, or they're impeded in some way, or it's not the fault of the trees. They don't jump out in front of the cars. You know, I'm thinking of aesthetics, environmental. Your mission statement says that you have a view toward environmental preservation, and I somewhat disagree with that. Trees get cut down and the trunks get left beside the road. Looks very disgusting. A lot of them are in bad shape. I can't argue with the fact that they probably should be removed. But the degree of the number of trees that are marked have to be in the hundreds. So that's Georgia. Do you have any? This is my neighbor, Georgia. She lives also in the neighborhood.
Good afternoon. My name is Georgia Evans. I live at 830 East U Avenue in Vicksburg. I've been a long-time resident of that neighborhood, and as you all know, that street is one of the most scenic streets we have in Vicksburg. When you drive down it in the summer, in the spring and summer, it's filled with leaves and trees that are just calms your nerves. You drive down there and you think of nothing but, I'm driving down a country road, and the stress of the day just dissolves. In the fall, the same thing. The beauty of those trees, it's priceless. The yellow, the orange, the red, you look at that and it calms your nerves. You're going fast all day, and suddenly you take a breath and you're driving home. And like Rhonda said, one day we woke up and we had these big yellow X's on our trees. And I understand the safety of the road is number one. But honestly, there are some trees there that need to be reconsidered. And I stand with Rhonda saying there's got to be an alternative to this. There has to be something else we can do to save some of those trees. It's not a joke. Aesthetically, it's going to make our neighborhood absolutely demolished of what it's going to do to it. We have those trees for a reason. It slows the traffic down. You have to think there's semis, there's motorcycles, there's kids driving on those roads. And with no trees to give you that warning of slow down a little bit, just take it easy, there's nothing to stop them. Now we're doing 70, 75, 80. And there's deer over there, there's wildlife. It's not good. Then in the wintertime, those trees are barriers. That wind comes whipping across those fields. I don't know if you live out in the country, but those trees are in place for a reason. It helps. It helps the environment. Aesthetically, it helps. And I'm with Rhonda. I stand firm. There's got to be something else we can do. The rumble strips, we even said curves. Do a curve, because I heard that if there's trees, you have to have some kind of barrier before the car goes over into the tree. Mm-hmm. And I heard departure is 55% of, the reasons that people die. And as far as I know, and everyone I've talked to on that road, we don't have any deaths on that road. Who are these people that are dying? Do we need to live in a playpen and wrap ourselves in bubble to protect ourselves? This is not what those trees are designed for. They're designed for the environment, for the barriers, for aesthetics. There's so many reasons for these trees. I ask you, please, please reconsider what you're doing. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next.
I just wanted to make one more statement. There is a tree that has been hit multiple times over I don't know how many years, and it's not marked with an X.
Yep.
Apparently it's just outside of your parameters that you use. So wouldn't it make sense to take the ones out that are obviously a continual hazard rather than the ones that have been there for hundreds, probably hundreds of years and never been hit? Thank you.
Thank you. Next.
Good afternoon. My name is Wade Adams. I have property at 15124 East MN Avenue, Charleston Township. It's about a mile north of Climax Village. There are red crosses on my trees. I planted these trees more than 25 years ago, at least some of them, and I planted them 33 feet, more than 33 feet from the center of the road. This is on 44th Street. I measured them today. They're more than 44 feet from the center of the road. That's my property. The same is true on MN Avenue, because I planted them the same as I did the ones on 44th Street. In fact, I have a picture that shows an old Osage orange fence row tree. The fence is in front of that stump from that old tree, and they're cutting trees behind that fence. I can't measure the distance from MN Avenue because they put a left turn lane there, and so they widened the road. But the right-of-way is still 66 feet. So, number one, I believe those are on my property. And I talked to Mr. Hoekstra. I didn't talk to him. I called him several times, and then he left a message. He said this was being done on a federal grant, Safe Roads grant. Is federal policy being followed here, or is state policy, state roadway policy? I need to know that. Because federal policy, I'm not certain why the federal government is funding the township to cut trees. After all, we have a $40 trillion debt. Also, along MN Avenue, the cutting of trees seems to be willy-nilly. There are trees that are not marked, that are closer to the road, the traveled surface of the road. And remember, the road commission liability is on the traveled surface of the road. I've read the laws on roads in Michigan. Hasn't been recently, but back in the 1980s. And it looks like from the cutting of the trees on MN Avenue that the road commission is now following the policy of Herb Larkin, who was the engineer manager back in the 80s until he was replaced by Ron Reed, who changed his policy on tree cutting. I can tell you I've been all over Michigan. I know different counties have different policies on what they do with trees. In Grand Traverse County, I actually called the county to cut a dead tree. Dead trees, good, bring them down. But they wouldn't even cut it. They didn't care. It eventually came down. And now we want to cut living trees that are far back from the road for supposed safe roads. Now, the
Mr.
road
Adams.
commission's not responsible for the negligence of people. I'll give you an example.
Your time has expired, I'm sorry. Wrap it up quickly.
Two drunks came down Mercury Drive, didn't make the turn onto Emmett Avenue, went about 75 yards off the road, straight on, missed two huge oak trees, and hit my neighbor's barn. They finally stopped because it's a big stone foundation, knocked his barn off. Now, I don't think the road commission should be responsible for people that are drunks or are on drugs any more than you would kill all the deer in Kalamazoo County because they hit cars, or they run into cars, or they run in front of cars. Doesn't make sense. So I think you need to evaluate your roadside policy. Look what Ron Reed, engineer manager for many years, what his policy was.
We thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next.
No, my name is Paula Taylor. I live at 1016 Iowa Avenue in the township, and I have been fighting for the last 4 years about the drains in front of my house. Last year before, I had to go on Channel 3 to get you to come clean them. I have called and called and called this past month and a half. Finally, somebody snuck out there and done them. But what they did is, I want you to see these photos of my drains. There's 3 in this great big spot, and then there's 1 in the piece of concrete over on this end. But everything comes down to there. And when they cleaned them this last week, that's the way they left them. They didn't take their mess they dug out. The time before, you sent a black kid and a white kid, young boys. They done it. When they got done with these 3 big piles, they got their high-powered hose and shot it all over my yard. I'm not putting up with any more of it. I've had enough. I have called out here 7 times before I got someone to come out last week. That's uncalled for. They're not on my property, they're in front of my property, they're in the road. In fact, you could be paying for a big bill had I not called you when I found that hole out there. Took me 2 weeks to get somebody out there to look. He got a big metal stick and he put it down in that hole, and he couldn't find bottom, so he went and got a bigger stick, and he still couldn't find bottom. The next thing you know, we got 3 trucks out there, and a few minutes later we got a concrete truck, and they dumped a bunch of concrete down that hole. But I think if you guys tell me you got street sweepers, I've seen 1 in the 12 years I've lived in that neighborhood, and all he did was go right down the center of the road and right on. Never did the sides that needs to be cleaned. And if you drive down East Michigan or Main Street right now, you'll see stuff all over both sides of the road. Nobody ever cleans it. But every time I called here, I was told it was my responsibility. And I'm here to tell you it's not. I'm 82 years old and I'm not in good health. So you just need to start doing something about those drains without me doing them. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your
Oh,
time.
you can have the pictures.
Can you tell me what street that was again?
Ira, first block,
In which neighborhood?
Kalamazoo Township.
Kalamazoo Township.
Thank you.
Any other public comment? There will be another opportunity for, a second opportunity for public comment later in the meeting. And you'll have another 3 minutes if you'd like to address the road commission at that time. Seeing no one, anyone online would like to offer public comment. Seeing none, we will go on to our next agenda item. That'll be new business. Item A, request approval of the Comstock Township Fire Department's letter of support. Managing Director.
All right, Comstock Township Fire Department requested a letter of support for their application to the U.S. Department of Transportation's Safe Streets and Roads Program for All, which is the SSA program as you were discussing today related to roads. This request seeks funding for the acquisition of a mobile barrier system and chassis, dedicated staffing for their traffic management safety unit, and a drone for incident surveying. The investment will meaningfully improve responder safety, reduce the likeliness of secondary crashes, and strengthen the overall safety and reliability of regional transportation network. So with that, we recommend the board approve the Comstock Fire Department's letter of support for the chairman's signature.
A motion would be in order.
Support.
We have a motion by Commissioner Kennedy with support to approve the Comstock Township Fire Department's letter of support. Is there any discussion on this agenda item from the audience here in the building or online or amongst commissioners? Vice Chair Statehouse.
Being liaison with Comstock, other townships, that area, the number of calls they get through the I-94, et cetera. Anything we can do to help improve emergency response is great. So thanks to Comstock.
Any other discussion, questions from commissioners? Hearing none, all in favor of approving item A, the approval of the Comstock Township Fire Department's letter of support, say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. Motion carries. Next is item B, request approval of the Bunker Hill Drive and Saybrook Drive sanitary sewer easements, Oshtemo Township. Managing Director.
All right, so Oshtemo Township is seeking to build a new sanitary sewer infrastructure in the Westport neighborhood. So that's West Main and 10th Street, between 10th and 9th Street area, between H and M43 is that Westport neighborhood. So very large neighborhood. And that's for the operation of sanitary sewer. There are 2 permanent easements needed on properties that are owned by the Road Commission, which are currently stormwater drainage basins. So the first location is a parcel on Saybrook Drive. That's about 0.6 of an acre. That's needed for the township's sanitary sewer lift station. And then the second easement is needed on Bunker Hill Drive, and that's 0.67 of an acre, also in this Westport neighborhood. And that's for a 30-foot wide easement along the north edge of our basin for sanitary sewer over that parcel. In order for Oshtemo Township to construct the portion of sanitary sewer in 2026, these permanent easements are needed to comply with the requirements of the United States Department of Agriculture's bond closing, which is set for May 14th of 2026. So it's just coming up this month. So our team's been involved in working with Oshtemo Township on this sewer project since 2023 when it was designed. Our team has already permitted and approved the construction of the north half of the sewer project. Construction on the south half of the project is anticipated in 2027, so next year. And this securing of these easements represents really our last step in allowing the township to move ahead. So on the budget side, Oshtemo Township has done a market study on these two parcels. Combined, their value is approximately $8,000 for these easements. Oshtemo Township is requesting that we give these properties in public benefit of the sanitary sewers to the public's best interest in efforts to cross jurisdictional partnership in these easements and donate them to Oshtemo Township for $1 for each parcel. All costs associated with drafting and reviewing these easement documents, including the legal cost, will be billed to the township as part of the project cost. So with that, we recommend the board approve the permanent easements for Oshtemo Township sanitary sewer across Road Commission of Kalamazoo County owned parcels on Saybrook Drive and on Bunker Hill Drive in Oshtemo Township for the managing director's signature.
A motion would be in order.
Support. Stay on including the $1 fee in lieu of appraisal values. It's very good to work with other municipalities, collaborative and shared easement.
Support. We have a motion by Vice Chair Stahauer with support from Commissioner Johnson. Any discussion amongst the audience here in the building or online? Discussion amongst commissioners. Vice Chair Stahauer, anything to add?
I'm glad to see this happen. So hope your sanitary projects go well. And I'm sure you'll take into account, like, these are stormwater areas. Memory serves me right.
They're both stormwater drainage basins. And, you know, so going back in history, there was some discussion of actually a purchase of one of the easements many years ago when we cleaned the basin. That was at Bunker Hill Drive. But the sewer project was many years behind our project, so we opted to postpone it. So this is our opportunity to work with the township and get the easement they need to literally cross the edge of our property with their sewer line.
I'm sure it's in their engineering design to recognize stormwater retention areas can rise. We don't control that. To a limited extent, we have some control, but they'll take the safeguards necessary to protect sanitary sewer. Thanks.
Any other? Oh.
More water, mate, whatever's going on.
Any other discussion amongst commissioners? Questions, comments? Hearing none. All in favor of approving item B, the approval of the Bunker Hill Drive and Saybrook Drive sanitary sewer easements in Oshtemo Township, say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. Motion carries. Next is item C, the request approval of bid 2026-06 culvert materials, corrugated steel pipe. Managing Director.
All right, so it's that time to replenish our inventories with corrugated steel pipe, also known as culvert. So these culverts we generally use to convey water underneath driveways and across roads. These culverts rust out and deteriorate over age, and it's our responsibility to replace those. Typically, the replacements are done as part of projects, but periodically we have service requests that require replacement of culverts. So our current inventory, we're really just shy of the 12-inch and 24-inch diameter culverts, along with bands and end sections. So that's actually all that's in this current bid are those 4 items. I do want to point out in the bid tab, Cadillac Culvert appeared to be low bidder for the 12 and 18-inch culvert. You see their price is significantly less than the other vendors, and that was simply because they bid, their bid was by the foot when our bid tab and our bid spec required it to be bid each, which is a 50-foot section, so that's why it was significantly less. We did do the calculations and determined that if we took their bid price per foot, calculated by the total feet of the pipe, that it is not a low bid, and we verified that with the vendor. I just wanted to point that out because it was significantly less. We did have 3 bidders, so we were fortunate to have actually 3 respond, and our bid prices on average were 3% higher than they were last year, so a moderate increase. So with that, we recommend the board award the culvert material corrugated steel pipe bid number 2026-06 to Jensen Bridge and Supply Company, low bidder meeting specifications with the option to extend for 3 one-year extensions by mutual agreement of both parties.
A motion would be in order.
Support.
We'll have we have a motion by Commissioner Thompson with support to approve the bid 2026-06 culvert materials corrugated steel pipe bid. Is there any discussion here amongst the audience in the building or online or amongst commissioners? Hearing none, all in favor of approving item C, bid 2026-06 culvert materials, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Motion carries. That'll take us to item D, request approval of the Village of Climax local municipality road contract. Managing Director.
All right, I believe this is our first local municipality road contract for the year. We don't anticipate at this point having any more, but we do have the Village of Climax this year. They partner with us pretty regularly with projects. So the Road Commission, as long as we have the time and resources available, we do reach out to our local partners and offer assistance. So this contract is actually for 4 projects, and they're all similar crack fill, chip seal, and fog seal projects within the Village of Climax. And I will point out in the contract that explains and spells out the total estimated project cost. That's $21,222, so that's combined for all 4 projects. That's our estimate, what we anticipate it's going to cost. The Road Commission would only bill actual. So with that, there is no contribution from the Road Commission on these types of projects. This is solely the Village of Climax, and they would actually pay the actual cost, but the estimates are $21,222. So with that, we recommend the board approve the local municipal road contract with the Village of Climax for the chair's signature.
A motion would be in order.
So moved.
We have a motion by Commissioner Vice Chair Stahauer with support to approve the Village of Climax local municipality road contract. Is there any discussion amongst the audience here in the building or online or amongst commissioners? I'll just say great job, happy to help, and good intergovernmental cooperation. All in favor of approving item D, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Motion carries. Next, that'll take us back into public comment on non-agenda items. And it's another opportunity to speak to the Road Commission on non-agenda items. Again, you have 3 minutes. Just Supervisor Bell, please step forward.
Thanks. I just wanted to show my personal support for item D. I voted, no, that's a joke. I accidentally voted on your motion.
Oh, well, we didn't hear it, so that's okay.
I just wanted to, I wasn't sure if I should speak when you were writing item C, the easements for Oshtemo, but I did want to take time during this meeting to thank you all for supporting those easements. Thanks to the Road Commission staff for working with us to get this material to you and in front of you. I believe in a little bit of an expedited fashion. This not only ties the bow for this sewer expansion project with the Road Commission details, but it ties the bow for our requirements for the USDA. So again, thank you all. Looking forward to extending sanitary sewer and water. Is the water in that project? Ryan knows more than I do. I think water's already out there. Anyway, thank you for that. Going to build some new roads, and hopefully we're going to do another round of projects next spring too. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you very much, Supervisor Bell. Next.
Wade Adams, 15124 East MN Avenue. I'd like the board to ask the engineer manager or the assistant engineer manager to have a private meeting with me, face to face, which I haven't had. I'd like to discuss the issue with him. I'd also like to ask the board to have a public hearing on and review roadside management. Okay? And the reason I say this is because back in the 1980s, long before most of you were born, right?
No, we were all around.
There was an issue in Kalamazoo County that bothered a lot of people about the management of the roadside. And as a result of that, and particularly the result of something that happened in Ross Township up in the northeast, a road was in bad condition. There were huge potholes in it. Water collected, they froze in the winter, made it very dangerous for people. But the engineer manager refused to fix the road unless the roadside trees were cut. These were trees that were centuries old. People went to the county commission. The county commission decided it was time for the engineer manager to go. And that's when Ron Reed became the engineer manager. And it changed the policy on roadside management. So I'm sure you can look back in the minutes from that period in the 1980s and find out things. Probably you could find out things from the county commission as well, because people went to public hearings there to discuss the issue. So the main thing is the road commission is responsible for the traveled surface of the road. That's what you're liable for. That's your main liability. So you might also want to look at Michigan laws. You can find those in the Michigan compiled laws. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Adams. Is there any other
questions?
Nope, but we'll get back with you after the meeting, and we'll be talking, I'm sure, more. But not during this public comment time. Thank you. Any other public comment?
Rhonda Walters, 12480 South 18th in Vicksburg. Pertaining to the cost of the tree removal, would you consider a roundabout at the corner of U Avenue and Portage Road? That's what we need. There's got to be a lot of other ways that that money could be spent. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Yes, we are always considering roundabouts. All right. Any other public comment? Hearing none. Anyone online? Seeing none, we will go to the Managing Director's report. Managing Director.
All right. Well, first of all, I have some introductions today. We have 3 new staff members here. So we have Nathan Bean. He's a road maintenance operator. So welcome, Nathan. Next to him, we have Anthony Ladd, our new operations director.
Welcome.
And behind Nathan there is Kirsten Vanella. She's our project engineer. So all 3 of them have, well, 2 of them started last week, and Nathan's been here, what, a good month now? Yeah. So welcome to all 3 of them. Just a couple items additional to that. We are taking some service requests related to SS4A and the clear zone improvements that we're doing. For the board and the public, our team is going to put together a short presentation for our next board meeting. really to just go over the SS4A project, the reasons why we're doing what we're doing, and the timeline in doing that. So it's open to the public. It's just our regular board meeting, so all are welcome to be here. Other dates I have, June 2nd, we plan on having our financial audit presentation at the board, to the board on the 2nd. And then also on June 16th, as a reminder, our joint meeting with the county to review the annual report, and that is immediately after our regularly scheduled board meeting on the 16th of June. So that's all I have, unless there's questions for me.
Questions for the managing director, commissioners? Commissioner Kennedy.
So just for my own learning opportunity. So the SS4A project, is that going to address some of the concerns that we heard about today, or not specific, but just why you say that you're going to do a presentation that explain why we're doing what we're doing?
Correct.
Okay, so is it to the benefit of some of those that have questions today to be able to come that day also, because they'll get some answers after? I'm sure that we'll be able to talk to them today, but is this going to help them understand, you know, why we've gone in the direction that we've gone?
Sure.
I don't want to put you out there, but I need to.
I believe we've already spoken with all the residents that are here today. So what they would hear is somewhat of a repeat.
Sure.
But of course, there may be areas that they can learn new and different things, and we may be able to share more. So we do encourage everybody to come.
Okay.
But we, again, have already responded to, I think, all the residents here today. It sounds like we have some follow-up to do. So.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you.
Other commissioner questions, comments for the managing director, vice chair?
The joint meeting with the county commission location, I wanted to put in my notes. Is it going to be at our facility, county commission?
It's at the county commission meeting.
County.
I believe we're having it at the committee of the whole meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Before the regular board meeting.
Other questions, comments for the managing director? Hearing none, I will just repeat, 2 weeks from now will be a good time to be here for an overview of our Safe Streets for All program and what's going on with the current status of some of these trees being removed for that program. All right, that will take us to commissioner's time. Commissioner Kennedy.
So thank you, Chair. I want to remind everyone, as you know, I'm the veteran, and Memorial Day is coming up. I want to encourage that there are a lot of families out there that have lost a loved one who served in the military or just served in general. If you know someone that needs some help, because maybe that veteran was the major breadwinner, make sure that you could, you're always welcome to bring that to my attention, or the Veteran Service Office in Alcott, in Kalamazoo. And there are lots of parades out there. I'm hoping at the next meeting I'll have a list of some parades, but I know that the city of Kalamazoo has a parade and a Memorial Day service at the Riverside Cemetery there on Gull Road. So I'm hoping that we can support our veteran families who have lost a loved one in attending some of these events for veterans and military personnel. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Kennedy. Commissioner Davis.
Thank you. I just want to say to some of the folks that showed up here today, I'm highly sympathetic to the problem of like losing trees in our neighborhoods, or because they define some of the things that make our neighborhoods what they are. We form relationships with them, and they become part of our neighborhoods. And it's a very tough decision to sit here and make this and decide that some of those trees may have to go for the benefit of the traveling public. I wanted to reassure you that that we aren't going to be taking those decisions lightly. A lot of those trees mean a lot to me too, and I've been on both sides of this argument. One of my first interactions with the road commission was back in the 1980s, trying to protect some trees that were going to go down on Portage Road near the old Upjohn Company. And that was I was a younger man taking part in what I thought was a useful battle, and learned a lot about the road commissions and what they did. And now I'm sitting here, and I have to part of making those tough decisions, and they're not as easy as I might have thought they were back then. And I really appreciate you coming and sharing your perspectives, and that's really what I had to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Davis. Commissioner Thompson.
I have nothing today. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Thompson. Vice Chair Stayhauer.
Thank you.
Turn your mic on.
I want to just
Turn your mic on.
express appreciation to fellow Commissioner Kennedy for going in my place to County Parks last month and again this Thursday, and maybe some more. But appreciate that very much. I'll just echo Commissioner Davis regarding trees. I'm an old guy and listened to that on the radio commuting to Holland. Wow, those working years of my life. I didn't know it firsthand like some of you people do, but secondhand, reading or hearing it in the news especially. I know there's trade-offs, there are alternatives, good judgments have to be made considering those. I'll agree, negligence of people is a major contribution often. Our staff has worked diligently with consultants, and will value their input and also value the input of the citizens, so thank you. I'm impressed by the trophy Sarah Phillips won for the snowplow rodeo. I hope whoever lost their mailbox got compensated. So there's a few pictures in our board packet, and you can see it as the public too. Missing Commissioner Gisler to talk about the things dear to his heart. But anyway, my wife was a Dutch dancer, Tulip Time. So anyway, Tulip Time in Holland and Pella, Iowa. That's really important. So appreciate our heritage that way, us Dutchmen, as well as the veterans. So that's all at the moment. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chair. I have Commissioner Gisler's report here in a minute. And for the second meeting in a row, I should have brought this up during Managing Director's time, but drains, I want to get back to drains real quick. Is that something we do internally, or we contract those out, like in Kalamazoo Township, those drains?
Yeah, our storm sewer cleaning is contracted out. Our team will go inspect, determine what does need to be cleaned and the urgency, but we do depend on our contractors to do that work.
And the lag time from ordering those up is usually a week or so, would you say?
Well, we're early season, right? We're just getting out of freezing conditions, so our contractors just getting rolling here. We have a backlog of service requests from the winter.
Okay.
So it takes us a few months to get caught up, and then we'll get into our routine maintenance throughout the summer.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Commissioner Gisler couldn't be here today, but he did send me a report, so I told him I would read it into the record. Ground has broken on the runway extension of the Kalamazoo Airport on April 27th. The 450-foot extension on the south end of the main runway will be landing safer and will make it safer landing in inclement weather, rain, snow, and ice. The second thing is the start of United Airlines service to Chicago. 4 flights a day has been postponed until June 1st. And then finally, Dr. Kevin Catlin, the county administrator, will speak to his group, the Kalamazoo Citizens for Responsible Government, next Monday, May 11th, 8:30 a.m. at Mark's Diner on Romance Road. All are welcome. So with regards, Commissioner John Gisler. So we appreciate him sending that report on to us. Last week's report said Sarah's leaving us. Is that true? Well, thank you. I would say it's been a pleasure working with you. Onward and upwards to great things moving forward, and we're going to miss you, and been a tremendous asset to this team. So thank you so much.
Thank you. I'll visit as well.
Thank you. I have nothing else. I will be out of town May 9th through May 18th. So other than that, That's all I have. A motion to adjourn would be in order.
Motion to adjourn?
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Motion carries. We are adjourned. Thank you all, folks.